For Let'sGoP.com, I'm Van Stokes. We're visiting with head coach Kirby Cannon. And, Coach, looking back real quickly, last week at Southern Mississippi, what are your takeaways from that game?
Well, defensively, I thought we did some nice things. I think we proved we could cover the deep ball. We didn't allow any large pass plays, and that's the first key, I think, to playing good defense is no big plays. We did give up a large run that we just misplayed. We were in a blitz situation, and they found the one gap that we really didn't have covered up very well. But defensively, very happy with the sustained effort, particularly the start that we got off to. Offensively, it's still just kind of a work in progress from the standpoint that we had some players play better than they did against Mercer, and we had some play worse, and we're still just not firing on all cylinders there to consistently move the ball.
Coach, we saw a couple of backs, a total of 30 carries between two backs. I'm talking about Kendall Morris and also Peay Davis last week. What are we going to need to do in order to free these guys up and improve our offensive numbers?
Well, I think from average yardage per rush, I think that's going to come around pretty quick. I think right now we're breaking in 3 freshman linemen. That's always a problem, and if they are seeing things for the first time, rarely are they going to have success with that. But both Peay Davis and Morris are solid backs, and they'll get what's there, differently. One's going to do it with size, and the other one's going to do it with quickness and speed. But I think our run game will develop quicker than our throw game does. I think the main thing about our throw game is we have to have less third and longs. That becomes very, very difficult on freshman linemen again to sit there and say, hey, we have to pass. And then when you're dealing with FBS level D linemen, that's a bad matchup for us. So more third and shorts, more third and maybe it's run, maybe it's pass downs, and the whole thing will work a lot better.
How about our quarterback situation? Would you say that is fairly settled right now?
I think it is. I think Trey is, again, shown a great ability to kind of lead a bunch of guys that haven't played a bunch. And I think that's not an easy thing to do because if the quarterback comes, unhinged in those situations, then it'll look really bad. But I think he does a great job of game management. The kids see him as being a leader. He's got a very cool head throughout the game. You don't see any frustration on his part. Which I think right now we need that as much as we need, a quarterback with a hot hand. We just need him to execute, to keep bringing those guys along and not get rattled. Because if he gets rattled, then all of them are going to get rattled, and that would be very bad for us.
Coach, looking now to the Vanderbilt Commodores, they are 0-2. The Governors are 0-2. What will you be looking for out of the Commodores this weekend?
Well, I think they're going to want to control the ball of their run game. Their quarterback has had some ups and downs in the throw game. I think they're going to try to just do everything they can to minimize their turnovers. No fumbles, no interceptions, I'm sure, is part of their formula for having success. They're going to feel like they have a good matchup at every position. So, I think they're going to be conservative as can be on offense, try to avoid penalties, avoid turnovers, and just consistently move the ball down the field. I think from a defensive standpoint, they're going to gang up on our run game. I think they're going to dare us to throw. They've got very good personnel on defense. That's the strength of their team, and we're going to have to give what they give us, and just do as much as we can on just getting a lot of good plays in a row, because I doubt whether they're going to give us up any huge plays.
Coach, this is not your first trip going to Nashville. You saw the Commodores 2 years ago, but this is a different Vanderbilt team. 2 years ago, they were a very strong football team. This year, maybe not as strong. What do you see as the keys to victory on this Saturday?
Well, they're very different than they were 2 years ago, and I think they're trying to base their program on toughness and being a good defensive football team and opportunistic on offense. So what we have to do is find a way to control the ball, have more success on first down, so that, again, we never get into that third and long situation. From a defensive standpoint, we've got to be able to beat blocks. They're not trying to fool you with anything. So the main thing we have to do is get a great get off up front, control our gaps and tackle better, particularly, early than we did last week.
And make every play count, get out to a good lead, and give ourselves a chance deep into the contest.
Absolutely. The longer we can take the game, the longer we can be competitive, then the more doubt you put into an FBS team's mind. And if we can never get them to panic, we can never get them into a situation where they have to throw the football, then I think we're going to do real well.
Well, we're going to hope we can capitalize on that. Coach, again, thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Remember, you can follow all of the action for Austin Peay Athletics on Let'sGoP.com.